Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm down here in the shop and sitting over here at the workbench. Got the Dakota project back here on hold, and a buddy of mine brought me this amplifier out of a car or truck or something. I don't know exactly what it come out of, but it's a 2,000 watt amplifier, and the problem with it is right here. Apparently somehow or another they have broke the RCA plug right there, so now you can't plug anything into it, and that's one of the primary inputs that you can see here. And he wanted to know if I could fix it, and I feel pretty confident we can fix it. We just got to get the end cover off of it here, and then take the back panel off of it and get into it and see what we got to take apart to fix it. Take these screws out of this end panel right here to where it'll come off, and then once we get in, I'm 99% sure that thing is soldered to the circuit board. Seems like I've been into one of these before. It's been a long time ago since I done car stereos. I guess I'm as the saying goes, I'm at the age where I turn the radio down so I can see better. Nah, it's I'm 99.9% sure that it's soldered onto the circuit board, and if it is, I happen to have a pack of them here that was in some old electronic parts that I had left over from another project somewhere along the way or something, that we'll be able to use. So we'll take this loose and look in here, and yep, I am correct. I don't know how well you can see in there yet, but that piece is soldered to the circuit board down here at the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll take the back cover off of this right quick. We'll try this little electric screwdriver, see how it does. And this screwdriver is made by Hoto. You can buy them online. It comes with a whole little assortment of attachments and stuff in here. It all fits inside this little case here. Got a little light on the end, and it's a nice little aluminum case that it all fits into. Pretty neat, nice to throw in a drawer, I guess, and have in there. But the biggest thing for me that I don't like about it is the fact of where the button is at. If you got something that's relatively tight, or you're tightening something up, there's no hand grip to it. It just spins right out of your hand. So I don't use it that much. I'll use it on some smaller stuff like this, especially here at the workbench working on little electronics. Seems to work pretty good. All right, let's see here. Just got our back panel loose. Looks like we got an LED panel in here with a little 2-pin connector. We'll disconnect it and set this off to the side because we don't need it right now. From there, let's see. That is soldered on to the bottom of the circuit board. So what we'll have to do is actually take this entire circuit board out. I'm gonna bring the camera over here where you can see a little better, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Right here is where this is soldered onto the board, down here at the bottom. And I've got a little pack of these here. I think I picked these up off Amazon. I'll look and I'll put a link in the description down below. But I had got these for something. And now, let's see. Roll one of these out of the package here. And I believe that'll be a direct replacement for that. Looks pretty darn close. Looking at the pin selection and how they're set up, I believe we'll be able to use that to replace it. So what I got to do now is finish taking this end panel loose here, and then take all the MOSFETs loose along to the heat sinks out here, and then lift the circuit board up out of here, turn it over, unsolder this, solder a new one on, and we'll be good to go. So let me go ahead and get this thing tore down, and then I'll bring you back with me, and we'll get this thing fixed up for you. Alright guys, so I've got all the screws out and all the tabs off, and it looks like, from what I can tell, the only thing holding this board in is really just where these MOSFETs are glued in, and there's a tab right here that's got to be taken loose. and then one over here. So there's the two tabs. Now, looks like this will come up out of there. The lock washer over here. Take it loose. Put it right there. Make sure that one's loose. Let me get this little lock tab here and here. Set those over there. Now, and make sure each one of these MOSFETs is loose. These MOSFETs are basically set on here onto this heatsink with thermal paste to help them transfer heat. And we're not going to take it off or wipe it down or anything like that. So we should be good to manipulate this just a little bit and bring it up out of here. And I'm going to pull up on each one of these MOSFETs real gently because I don't want to break the solder connection on the board. Just like that. There we go. Okay. So the piece we need to replace is on this end right here. Let me turn this around. It looks like if we unplug this 2-pin connector right here, it may or may not come unplugged. They have actually glued that connector in there. So I am going to get in here and try to break the glue loose so that we can unplug it from the board just like that. Peel that glue off. And then what we'll do is we'll feed this right through here. There. Now we can take our board completely out. Push our housing off to the side there. And then we're going to turn this over. And right here is the point that we're going to have to work on. Clean this off a little bit here. Now, in order to do this, what we'll have to do is I'll have to unsolder each one of these terminals right here. They're the 3 big ones. You can see one right here, 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 and here. So I've got my little solder sucker here. I'm gonna see if they melt down or if I need to flow a little solder on them in order to get them loose, but we'll see. I'm gonna start out right here, just getting it hot. And then just like that. Do the same thing on this next one. Alright. Now, let's see if this thing comes off from here. I think it's still going to be stuck just a little bit. That one's loose. That one's loose. That one there is going to be a little more stubborn, it looks like. Let's see. Let's turn this back over here. It looks like they might have glued this to the circuit board. So what I'm going to do is bend this back and forth a little bit here and see if we can loosen it up a little. all I'm doing right now is just trying to melt some of this glue out of here so we can get this thing off of the board. These are coming out over here. There. So there, we got it out. That's our 2 tabs, and this one kicks out in the back. You'll see side by side how they look. You got these 2, and then this long one in the back. That's the one I broke off, and then I broke this one off because it was glued in there. We're gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna get this board around here where I can get access to it, and try to get some of this glue stuff off from here. It seems to be like a, I don't know, it reminds me of almost like a silicone rubber or something. I don't know why they did that, but I'm sure it's to help reinforce it, something to that extent. We'll get that right there off. And we got one of the tabs that we broke off is sticking out of here. So I'm gonna get a hold of it here. Heat it up just a little. There we go. Got it out. I'm gonna heat the pocket up. Perfect. Got a nice clean hole in there now. Let's go back in here and see if we can peel some of this out. There we go. Now, bear in mind, I'm just pulling this stuff off. I am not scraping on the circuit board or anything like that. I'm trying to get a hold of chunks of it that's sticking up with these tweezers, and they are not that strong, so I can pull it off in pieces and basically just get it off of the board itself. All right, so that's got the rest of it off. So now what I want to do is turn this back over, and I'm going to heat these up from the back and see if I can't push them out one at a time here. Just like that. Get that hot. There's that one. And have my finger on the trigger there. There we go. Alright, so now you should be able to see here, if I can hold this up where you can see it. We've got all of our holes are cleaned out now. We got one here, one here, one here, one here, here, and here. So now we can set this new one in here just like that. Here we go. And it's gonna be kind of hard for me to hold it in exact camera view here, but we've got each one of our pins sticking through. So what I'm gonna do is turn this around here where I can access it. And it's not touching. So I'm gonna put these tweezers under it just to hold it. And all that's doing is applying pressure to hold it flat to the circuit board. So now I'm gonna come in with some fine solder. This is, I don't remember, 0.05 or 06 or something like that. And this is where I have a hard time seeing. So I got these fancy little things here. This is the best $9 I ever spent, hands down, because these fit over top of my glasses, and I can get right in here and see exactly what I am doing. It allows me to watch this and flow solder into each one of these pockets without the worry of missing something. Just like on that one right there, it's still got a hole in the side of it. It didn't flow. So I'm gonna add a little bit more in here. Heat this up, and it flowed right in. And the biggest thing to remember, guys, when you are soldering on a circuit board like this, you don't want to overheat it. Just get it hot enough to start melting the solder. That's why you see me sticking it to it each time, in order to make sure that as soon as it starts melting in there and I get a puddle, I can pull the heat right off of it, so I don't overheat the board. Another thing too is you don't want to heat up and flow any of these other joints out in the process of making the repair here. Because if you do that, then the unit's not going to work because you disconnected something. All right. There's that. Now, I don't know if this will work or not. But if you can see it right there with a magnifying glass, all of our joints are flowed back in. And we are ready to go. It really didn't make much difference, did it? All right. So that has got our RCA jack put it back in place. It feels pretty solid right there. There's a screw that goes in the front of it that holds it in place. So in essence, we are ready to put our board back together here. And guys, that's it. Basically, we just have to reassemble it. I have to put these little pads back on to the MOSFETs. Got to put the pads back on those that needed it. In here, some of them are still on there. We'll put this back on. I may apply just a little bit of thermal paste in there. I don't know. It looks like they're coated pretty good and they're locked down with these nice solid brackets. So we should be able to set this back in, hook everything back up, close it up, send it to him. He can hook it back up in his car and play his music till his heart is content. So that being said, guys. All right, guys, so there you go. That is an amplifier repair, putting new RCA jacks in. Relatively simple repair. Took a little bit of time to disassemble. It'll take us a little bit of time to reassemble. I'm not going to bore you with that because it's just to reverse the process of what we did. But listen, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you for watching. Be sure and subscribe. That is the most important thing. Be sure and subscribe for us. Give us a thumbs up. Drop comments or questions down below. Stick with us. We'll be coming to you with more videos. We've got the Dakota project going on, which is a full cab and frame replacement. The frame was rusted out, so we're rebuilding the frame on it, and then we're doing a cab swap on it where the cab's rusted out. So stick with us. We'll be coming to you with more videos, and like always, thank you for tuning in.